Hi, this is Nick Williams. I'm sitting here with Sarah Alexander. Hi Sarah, how you doing?
Hello, hi, I'm fine, thank you.
Great. Well, you very kindly offered to contribute some tips to the programme that I'm running called The Message You're Born to Share. You're a messenger, you've written a book, you've been giving talks for years, your book's called Spiritual Intelligence in Business. So you very kindly offered just to kind of share some of your own expertise and wisdom for people that are beginning to and getting their own kind of vocations and businesses up and running. So are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Great,
Yeah.
so I've got some questions for you, so I'll just run through them and I'll let you answer them. So, I know it's a challenging thing to do, but in a sentence or two, what is the message you feel you were born to share with people?
Well, I think the message that I'm really always putting out is that within us all is this real source of energy, this source of power, if you like, that is very much connected to our own inner energy, our own inner wisdom, our own inner guidance system. And that the more we're able to really connect with that source of energy, trust it if you like, depend on it for everything that we need to do and all the guidance that we need to receive, then it makes our lives very much more easy, much more effortless. And also we can trust that that inner energy source really draws to us all the things that we need to receive so that we can very much learn and grow, and ultimately we're here to learn to be more loving, if you like, as a human being. So that's a lot of what the situations and circumstances of our life teach us, is how to be more loving.
Great. And have you always known you're a messenger, or when did you recognise some kind of impulse to be a messenger and to share ideas and messages with people?
This was obviously a good few years ago now that I suppose I sort of recognised it. You know, I just had a real passion for all of this type of thinking, and particularly when I was first on this path, I did lots and lots of reading, went on various courses. I was very, very keen on meditation and all the value that comes from really stilling your mind and using meditation to connect with this inner power. So I guess really my passion made me feel, well, you know, I have all this great knowledge now that perhaps could really benefit other people. So I just naturally felt I wanted to go out and share these tools
So you had
and
kind
share
of
these
input
things.
that you wanted to turn into output.
Yeah, that's right.
And I know that many people, you know, certainly I have, and I think you have, and a lot of people that are watching this, you know, our humanness kicks in, our fears, our vulnerabilities, you know, who's going to want to listen to me, and what have I got to say that's any different, all those kind of things that we all have rattling around in our heads. How do you deal with that side of it yourself?
Well, I very much, you know, think, well, we have to accept that side of ourselves. It's not something that we can remove or get rid of. It's a very natural thought process that can come up within us. And I think what I've always absolutely known is that, yeah, I might have felt scared, I might have felt really vulnerable, you know, I might have felt stressed about certain situations, but when the time comes, I absolutely know that the level of consciousness that I need to be in to be able to speak fluently and give really great guidance to people and coach people effectively, it's just absolutely been there for me. So I kind of know, yeah, my kind of stuff, if you like, might come up, but at the right time, when I need to act, when I need to do something really big, I'll be absolutely fine. And I just absolutely know that and
You
trust
just
it.
walk, you know, you kind of step across a threshold in a
Yeah,
way, get
that's
beyond your
right.
humanness and go into another realm.
That's right. And I've kind of learned to think, okay, well, there's my humanness, but I don't necessarily have to really buy into it. I can just witness it happening and know there's another level of thinking that I can be at.
Brilliant. And in terms of kind of practical steps, you know, that practical could be at any level, but in terms of practical steps that have got you from not doing this to being out in the world and doing it, what have been the things that have been most important for you to get yourself out there and make this happen?
Well, I think obviously doing a lot of public speaking certainly helps, because then people see you on a regular basis and they hear you and they get to perhaps like and feel that they resonate with your energy. So public speaking has certainly helped. But also what I've done for many, many years now is send out an email every week called Focus for the Week. And that really focuses people on an aspect of spiritual thinking or spiritual psychology that they can really concentrate on for that week. And I often link it into the energy of perhaps what is the current astrological sign, or whether there's a full moon or a new moon. And all these things actually can really help us to think in different ways about ourselves and our lives. And people tell me they find that really, really valuable. So I guess that's my way of kind of regularly sending out my message, if you like, to the people that want to hear it.
Great. It keeps you in people's consciousness.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't forget you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
And I don't know if it's the same thing, but what would you say has most caused your success? You know, you're now an author, author, you work with businesses, helping them kind of stay on track in terms of their values and stuff. What's most caused you to get to where you are now?
I think for me, I absolutely trust my intuition, and I know that by just being intuitive, really kind of feeling into what's right for me and also perhaps what's not right for me, my intuition has led me into really great circumstances that have always been perhaps far bigger and better than perhaps my logical mind might have chosen for myself. So I don't go out and set goals or anything like that. I kind of allow my intuition to guide me, and it really has brought me some really fantastic opportunities and circumstances. So for me, success has been following my intuition.
Great. Which kind of follows on with the next question, which is how much of it has felt like your plan and how much of it has felt like a divine plan, an unfolding plan?
I think the more we can get our kind of our humanness, if you like, out of the way, the more a divine plan can unfold in our lives. And I've always thought very much that my destiny has been tied up with a combination of the divine plan for my life and also me acting upon it. And that really comes through my inner wisdom, if you like, the knowledge of what the divine plan is and then my ability to act upon it. So I would personally say it is very much the divine plan that we then act upon that leads to our destiny.
So you've kind of received instructions but you've acted on them.
Yeah,
and so many people receive instructions but don't act on them.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So how long have you been doing this now?
I suppose I've been doing it really seriously perhaps since, I first became interested in all this work back in the mid to late 1980s, but I've been really seriously out in the world and coaching people and working with people perhaps since 2000, 2001, something like
about
that.
10 or 11 years.
Yeah,
now.
that's right.
So if you could go back to the you 10 or 11 years ago that was just starting off, knowing where you are and what you've learned and where you've got to today, what would you say to the you of 11 years ago?
Well, I think what's always really important to remember is that there's a bigger picture at play here, as we've talked about, is the divine plan. And I think sometimes we can get very caught up in what is happening in our present circumstances and also perhaps what isn't happening in our present circumstances that we think should be happening, and get very analytical about that and forget that really each set of circumstances that we're in is just a route that we are taking that is fulfilling a much, much bigger picture of our lives. And I think sometimes we have to kind of take our focus a little bit off the present circumstances and kind of allow ourselves to know that there is a much, much bigger part that we are playing here. There's a much bigger picture operating here. And if we can keep our eye on that bigger picture, then that is much more kind of easy to do than get caught up in what's not happening right now, or kind of apparent lack in the present moment.
Okay, great. And for the people watching this that have been on this course and doing this course and will do in the future, if you could give them a couple of tips about how to start and keep going, what would they be?
Well, I think trust is always the most important thing, because particularly when you're following a path that is very much comes from your intuitive guidance, you've absolutely got to trust that, and trust that what you're guided to do will eventually work out, and it will eventually work out, and there might be a little bit of patience required in getting from where you are now to the bigger picture plan for your life. So I think that's certainly one aspect of it, and I think another aspect is that it's very easy for us to get caught up by the things that perhaps we feel aren't quite right about ourselves as people, some of the hang-ups that we have, some of the beliefs that we have about ourselves that really aren't true necessarily, but our personality really wants us to believe that they're true. And I think sometimes we have to really let that go and focus on our kind of inner perfection, if you like, our inner brilliance, our inner amazingness, for want of a better word, and not get hung up on all the things that we think, oh, I'm not this and I'm not that, and that we can easily get caught up in, that prevents us moving forward really easily.
So focus on our brilliance, not our neurosis.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's
Great.
it.
Well, thank you very much, Sarah.
My
It's
pleasure.
been lovely. Hope you've enjoyed watching this. Hope it's been useful to you and inspired you to continue with your journey as being a messenger. Thanks for watching this.
Thank you.
Bye.